Hello everyone, welcome to Sukhniyaa. Thank you so much for watching this today. And if you are already subscribed or you watch me consistently, then thank you very much for that as well. So let's talk a little bit about sigil magic. Okay, what is it? How does it work? And more importantly, how to charge sigils. Okay, in a introductory way, I will tell you very briefly about how sigils work and why and like what they exactly are. Okay, sigils are basically symbols of magical power and intention. So they are basically symbols of magic and transformation and just some kind of magical intent that you have. The thing that distinguishes sigils from other symbols is that sigils can be made by yourself. Okay, sigils are very easily made by a person, especially a beginner who is just starting out in spirituality or magic. Okay, and and that is the main difference between sigils and other ancient symbols that you usually see in texts, like for example Shri Vidya. Okay, when we see the Shri Yantra and everything, it is already written, right? Or Solomonic Pentacles. So these are things that have already been made by sages, by rishis, by very big and high magicians, right? But sigils are something that can be self-made, and they can work equally powerful, if not more powerfully, for you, because they are specifically catered to your intention. Okay, so the way that sigils work is that they go directly into your subconscious. Okay, your subconscious is much better at detecting and understanding symbols more than anything else. Okay, so it also tries to consistently keep a track of your subconscious is better at understanding a symbol than your conscious mind is. Okay, you have to understand something, that in human minds there are two parts, right? The ego and the superego. Okay, or I would say the conscious and the unconscious. Okay, your conscious mind is very much like, it works on principles, it works on structure, it works on words, it has to have some kind of a pattern recognition system. You cannot work without the ego. Okay, whereas your unconscious is the exact opposite. So yin yang, right? So that's why symbols are so important, because they are very much intrinsic to the value of to what magic is. Essentially, it is chaos, but it brings you what you want. Okay, that is what symbol, that is what color, that is what the whole point of any kind of symbolic magic is. So now that we understand what sigils are and how they can be used, let's talk about some ways of charging sigils. Okay, how do you charge sigils? How do you basically make them more and more potent by time? That is what we are going to see in this video. Okay, so the first way to charge sigils is to charge it by the method of destruction. So there are three ways of destructing a sigil: fire, water, and earth. So you already know what to do with fire. You have to burn the thing that you have basically written your sigil or written your intention on. You have to burn that. So that's the destruction by fire method. Then there's the destruction by water, where whatever sigil you have drawn or had for yourself, you basically just put it in some river and let it flow. Another method is to grab some moon water and then put the sigil in the moon water, and the moon water will over time dissolve the paper completely. Okay, but obviously if you put paper in water, it will dissolve over time completely. It might take a couple of months, or depending on the size of the paper and size of everything, might even be a couple of years, but it will happen. So that's another method. The third method is to destruct it with earth, okay, by burying it, by burying the sigil that you have created. Okay, so that is the third method. So the first method, so there goes the first method, which is destruction, which is the method of destruction. Okay, now the second method is to charge them by drawing it on your body or on yourself, which is why you would see that a lot of people get tattoos of sigils or symbols that they have created themselves. Okay, this is something that my own aunt has done. She basically just created a sigil of all her desires in the world, and tattooed it on herself, and she says that it works well. So I said, okay, that's good for you. So anyway, that's the second method, which is that charging by drawing them on your body. How you charge a sigil is you don't have to tattoo anything, by the way. If anything, I have very strong opinions on whether or not you should tattoo anything on your body. I mean, I just have very strong opinions. I'll make another video on that. You don't need to tattoo anything, but what you can do is, if you have a sigil by hand, you have something on yourself, then you just draw it every day, and you will see that things are starting to take effect, which is something that I have also mentioned in my third eye opening video, somewhere around here. I'll link it, or maybe it will be in the description. I did also mention there that you can definitely charge a sigil by drawing it on your body every day, or keeping it on your body. Okay, so that is the second method. It is extremely good for quick and easy spells, for drawing some extra luck to you for like a day or two. Good for that. Okay, the third is by charging them by keeping them around you constantly. Okay, so you can basically just draw something on a piece of paper and then keep it in your pocket, keep it in your phone, inside your wallet, somewhere or the other, which is something that you would see happening a lot in all these reels that people send you. They're always like, why do I have to draw this symbol and then keep it in my wallet with a bay leaf? That's because everything has a language of its own in magic. Okay, by keeping it in your wallet, essentially what you're doing is you're carrying the energy of this sigil, of this symbol with you constantly. Okay, and that will really help bring what you want into your life. Okay, so that is the third method, by simply just having it around you, or even vision boards do the exact same thing. They're just always in your face, right? That's why it works. The fourth method is to add sigils to your intention, to your petition in your magic. Now, this is something that basically everybody in general does, but what you basically do is, when you're writing your wish, when you're writing your petition, and you're going to do like some extra kind of work with it to go along with it, you're going to do some kind of candle magic, some kind of ceremonial magic, whatever it is you're going to do, what you basically do is while like on the petition paper itself, you draw other sigils to go along with it. Okay, that is what you do. So that is another thing you do to basically just supercharge your intention, make it even stronger. Okay, with the sigils and everything that you have added. I try this. I actually do a lot of sigil magic all the time, and it works tremendously well. Like, if anything, I think I'm like a really lazy type of a person who just does a lot of lazy magic and goes around doing that. Cut this out. I am a very hardworking person, and I work hard for my magic. Yes. The fifth method is to basically use shoe magic on it, or foot magic on it. Foot magic is basically when you have an intention, or you have a sigil that you consistently work on or that you consistently like use your foot on. Foot magic uses a lot of domination power in it. Okay, so when you're, so suppose you have a sigil, okay, you are placing that sigil in your shoe and then walking around with it, you will see that whatever intention you have put in that particular sigil has manifested into reality pretty damn quick. Okay, because that is how sigil magic works. Next, I think this is the sixth one, is that you add a drop of intention oil or herbs into your sigil magic. Okay, now again, this is for practitioners who do know a little bit more about magic, where you basically just dab the sigil paper with more intention, more like intention oils, and put some herbs on it, sprinkle something on it, and then you can burn it or whatever, or just keep it in with you all the time, something like that. Okay, so that is the sixth method. Okay, so for example, if you have a sigil for happiness, okay, then what you do is you take, suppose, a drop of orange essential oil, you dab the particular sigil paper with the essential oil, then you put sunflower petals on the thing, and maybe you carry it around with you. Okay, because sunflower and oranges, both of them stand for happiness, for positivity, for sun energy. Okay, so things like that you do. Obviously you follow your correspondences when you're doing all this. And then of course you can do a lot of candle magic with your sigils, just makes it more and more powerful. Another very powerful method of charging sigils is to basically chant a mantra or chant something over it. So suppose you have like a sigil paper here in your hand, and what you do is, the symbol is written here, it's everything. What you do is you legitimately just focus all your energy and intention towards the sigil, and you chant whatever you need to chant. For example, if it is a sigil that is meant to help me study more, then what I can do is combine sigil magic with a little bit of chanting. I will hold it in my hand and then keep chanting over the particular paper, over the sigil paper, whatever Saraswati mantra I have in my hand, and I will keep chanting over this sigil paper any Saraswati Ma ka mantra that I want to chant, because Saraswati Ma relates to studies. She relates to enhancing your work, right? Enhancing your intellectual capabilities. So if that is my intention, then that is a mantra that I could use over my sigil that I have created. If you could also be using affirmations on your sigil. So for example, if you want to be able to focus more in your studies, you get distracted very easily, then you make a sigil for the particular intention that you have. Then you just chant one intention or one affirmation over it consistently. Okay, what you basically do is I am extremely focused in my studies. I love studying. Things like that. Okay, just like keep saying it over and over and over again. I love studying. I love studying. I am very, very focused in my studies. I grasp information very easily. Things like that. You just keep saying over and over and over again while having the intention paper in your hand, and that's it. You just keep it around with you all the time, and you will see how this thing works very well for you. Another pretty easy and cool way you can use sigils is to basically wrap them around crystals or keep it beneath a crystal. Okay, so a lot of people like to make crystal grids. Okay, crystal grids are a really easy, cool, sweet way of manifesting anything. I have tried crystal grids. I think they are more powerful with different methods. Just a crystal grid in itself is maybe it's just my opinion, but just a crystal grid in itself is not that cool. But if you use the crystal grid with something more, it works tremendously well. Okay, like, so if you can make a crystal grid, for example, around your candle magic that already you are doing a lot of, then that crystal grid will make it even more powerful. Okay, so if you don't know about crystal grids, maybe I can make a video on that. Sigils are all about the amount of intention or the amount of energy that you are putting into it. Okay, so a person with more energy or more intention, who has higher vibrations, charge their sigils much more powerfully, and therefore get more out of it. Okay, so now this is the best, most powerful way to actually charge any kind of sigil, which is to use a lot of your attention and focus on it. Okay, so energy flows where attention goes, right? That's a very simple principle that we have learned until now, that energy goes where attention flows. So the best way to charge any sigil is to literally just have it in front of you and then focus. Okay, just focus. Notice the lines, notice the shapes, notice the everything around it. Have it, like, focus so hard on it as if it's literally getting imprinted into you. Visualize that symbol coming off of the paper and into your heart and into your mind, and creating an actual physical manifestation of the particular intent that you have. And what you will have by the end of it is a very powered up symbol that is working on its own. Okay, if you can do this even for 21 days straight, this sigil, you will not need to power up the sigil anymore. It will just work for you. Okay, you will not need to put more intention, put more focus, put more energy into it, because that sigil already almost has a life of its own. Okay, so it's going to work on its own. So that is the whole benefit of working with sigil magic, is that you don't need to charge it all the time, because anyway you are the one who created it, you are the one who is working with it. It's going to work according to your intention. Okay, depending on the amount of focus and energy and time and effort that you have put into it. So that was the video. Thank you so much. And if you guys have watched until now, then I am very, very grateful for that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video.